ladies and gentlemen. This is Scull Media, the man in white. We have Brandon Carrol.
You're right.
AKA Swarm. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for him, please. Now, what's the name behind Swarm? What's that? Like, tell me about it. Why Swarm?
It's not as interesting as you think. Actually, it's interesting. It's not as cool as you think. I was in New York with my best friend Tim, and we were at some beer garden, and we were just hanging out, and I just started making electronic music, and I'm like, you know what? I need a name. I need a cool name. It needs to be something that is not boxed into something, and it needs to be it could be anything. It doesn't have to be electronic or metal or rock or whatever. And we were in the bathroom. We're like, we gotta pee. Okay, so we went to go pee, and then we were washing our hands. And he's like, oh man, it's so warm because it was so cold outside. And I'm like, yeah, Swarm. And I'm like,
it's Swarm.
I was a little buzzy. And he's like, no, man, it's not what I said. I'm like, yeah, but I know that's it. That's the name.
That's how it came about, huh? How long ago was that?
That was probably early 2017.
That's a good amount of time, man. Yeah. That is a good amount of time.
Seems like an eternity. It literally seems like an eternity.
I bet it does, especially being in this kind of industry, man. You're taking over the world right now. You're blowing up. So the reason I'm here doing this with you is because I want your fans to really connect you and understand why you do this. Sure. Why it's your dream, or what inspired you to do this the most, to its fullest extent. Well, why are you doing all this?
I've always loved music. I've been obsessed with music forever. And I remember there's pictures somewhere, and physical pictures, not digital pictures, in boxes and somewhere where I grew up that I was always all my toys were musical instrument oriented. I had that, that stupid echoey microphone.
Yeah.
That had, I don't know what the fuck was in it, whatever magic or voodoo was in it that was I would always sing into it, or probably not really sing, probably yell, screech or something.
That's fine. It's a type of singing.
I always loved music. Music's always been my favorite thing. I'd rather just stay in my room and listen to music pretty much more than anything else, as long as I can remember. And now, it's the same, but making music. I just always wanted to do something with that, and I was in a band, and when I was my late teens and early 20s, I played guitar. It didn't really work out after a few years, but we did a little bit of touring. I learned a lot about songwriting, and I just didn't like the democracy of it. I wanted no, I want to do this, but I didn't like running it through a bunch of people. So I ended up going through some mental health issue things that kind of took me out of the whole music world for a while, and I kind of got the taste of, doing normal jobs for a while and everything. And I'm just once I finally got a hold of it, I'm no, I'm going to fucking do this. I'd just been introduced to electronic music, 2015, I think. Actually, the House of Blues that I just played last week for the first time.
Really?
Was Excision 2015, yeah.
Wow.
And so I'm I'm going to do this. This is going to be, I'm going to learn how to do it. And I did. It sucked at first, of course, but I was obsessed. And when I get obsessed with something, I will do it no matter what.
Right.
No matter what. I will figure it out if I'm obsessed. So
that's perfect, man.
I just kept at it, and then I met people along the way that wanted to help, my team, who's still my team. And here we are. But that's why I do it. But also, like I said, with those mental health things that I still struggle with that took me out of music in the first place, I want to remind people always through the lyrics, the music, the imagery, the themes, everything, that I just want to remind people they're not alone in struggling with things that they go through, whether in life or mentally. There's a lot of shitty things that can happen, but you're not alone in it.
Absolutely, man. Let's look more into that mental aspect of music. How did that get you out of your place as far as that? How do you expect your music to help other people out of that as well?
I don't think all I can do is be authentic and be myself. Anybody that knows me personally can attest to the fact that I'm just unashamedly myself. Unashamedly, I guess.
No, that's awesome.
Unashamedly. And that's, how I decided to live once I'd decided to take my life back from the things I was going through. In my case, it was an eating disorder. You know, stuff I still struggle with. But all I can be, I feel like if I'm authentic and I talk about the things that I struggle with in my music, you know, like all of the past few years, or the past year, I guess, I've started doing my own vocals on stuff. And that's why I wrote the lyrics. And it's all just very real. You know, it's all stuff that's kind of like a mental dialogue, I guess.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I'm being real and honest with things I struggle with, that people will feel that and identify with it. And hopefully just come away with the fact that they're not alone in struggling with, maybe they're struggling with the same thing I am, or maybe it's a totally different thing. But just knowing that somebody else, that if you look up to them or if you, whatever, just discover them, you know, just saying like, oh, wow. So there's other people that go through bullshit too. You know, I feel like if I'm myself, then, you know,
It makes them feel not alone.
Exactly. And that I think that's one of the more powerful things that I could ever really relate to somebody or relay to somebody is just, you're not alone. You know, it's, I don't have the answers. You know, I'm still figuring out myself.
Absolutely.
I'm still trying to figure out life and my mental state, but, you know, I'm living proof that things can get better if you put in effort to work through them and talk with somebody and all that kind of stuff.
That's beautiful.
No, it's all
so as far as your music, man, like what would you what was this? What's the sound called? What would you call it?
I've wondered that for so many so many years. I need some sort of name. I don't know. It's kind of sounds like metal, but it's not. Kind of sounds like dubstep or EDM or mid tempo, but it's not. It's just really cinematic bass music. It sounds like a movie trailer, but it's not, you know.
Oh man, it feels like a movie trailer.
Thank you.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Maybe in the future somebody will watch this and be like, oh look, you didn't even know what it's called yet. But they'll know at that time, maybe. I don't know. We'll
That's
see.
awesome. So where do you want to be in the next 5 to 10 years?
That's the hardest question I could possibly answer. And honestly, I'm going to answer it with this, is I want to be doing what I'm doing on a bigger scale. I don't want anything big to be different. I want to be able to be even more. I want to be able to be more myself on a bigger scale. I don't want to tell you something because, you know, I can't think that far ahead.
That's fine.
Because I have to take things day by day.
Yep.
I do have big dreams, but, you know, they're achieved just taking it one day at a time. But I want to be able to express my vision of things more accurately and in a much bigger picture. But I couldn't tell you where I want to be in 5 to 10 years. I just want to be still here, alive, finding new ways to express myself through music.
Absolutely. That's perfect, man. Where did you first, like, where did your music life start? Like, what was your inspiration? Like mine was Frank Sinatra and Bob Marley and Coldplay.
Oh, I love that, dude. Frank Sinatra's amazing. Me and Lauren listen to him all the time.
Really?
Oh, at home, yeah. We have like restaurant ambiance or like smooth jazz ambiance with like fall sound effects and visuals playing on our TV like all day, literally. Just some jazz, especially Frank Sinatra. Anytime we're out and about, if we're like, let's go to dinner, we're listening to Frank Sinatra on the way there. Or if we're like, let's stay in and we're going to cook dinner and, you know, just talk, it's always Frank Sinatra, for sure, 100%.
That's amazing because
I love it.
Frank awesome. Sinatra is like my one of my favorite artists of all time. Like you think like
that's awesome.
Going from Sullivan King, Swarm to Sinatra, like there's totally two different genres right there.
The more diverse, I love it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
The more diverse a person's music taste, the cooler they are usually. But for me, it was definitely metal or an industrial stuff, specifically the German industrial band Rammstein. 100% my favorite band on earth. They're about to come out with a new album. About to lose my shit. About to lose my goddamn mind. But yeah, 100%. That inspired me to make music, to try my own vocals, and the whole thing. I love them. They're great. I don't sing in German though, because I don't know German.
So singing your own lyrics. When did you start doing that?
A year ago, last March. So a little over a year ago, I guess. I always wanted to do it, but I didn't know what to do. And then I just tried. And, I just experimented a little bit. I'm like, dude, and I didn't like anything I did. And then I'm like, you know what? Let me just do a shot in the dark. I'm just going to put like a really gross, heavy 808 trap beat kind of SoundCloud rap thing. But I'm not going to do like a bunch of screaming the whole time or like make it, I'm just going to kind of just talk expressively.
Yeah, no,
And
absolutely.
I did. And I liked it. I sent it to my team. Like, what do y'all think about this? Because I kind of like it. I always thought that I'd hate myself. I always hated the sound of my voice. I hated watching myself talk or listening to myself talk. But like if I exaggerated it a little bit and like kind of did a theatrical, expressive, very, what is the word? Very emotive.
Theatrical?
Yeah, I guess it's just theatrical,
Okay.
like kind of exaggerated things, but like had a lot of expression in the voice, kind of like narration almost. I felt like that would, maybe that would work, and it did, and I liked it. And it might not be for everyone. That's cool, but I like it, and I love doing it live, and I'm gonna keep doing it.
Heck yeah, man. I love that. Now, as far as the way you use your voice and all your other videos on Instagram and TikTok, by hands down, my most favorite. Yeah, I've been watching your videos all over the place, and dude, they are hands down hilarious because the way that your voice is perfect for how you just express yourself and how certain things make you feel. Like mowing the grass the other week.
Fuck!
That was
I hate this
perfect.
shit.
It was just like you're a narrator of your own life, man.
Well, yeah, it kind of translates to the music and I did a few like tutorials on how I did things, and I used my really deep voice like this and
Yes!
stuff. And people's like, "You detuned your voice." I'm like, "No, I didn't. I just really exaggerated it."
Oh my gosh! No, I didn't think you were auto tuning it at all. But now that
I
it's
just
actually in
used
person,
a very exaggerated version of the voice that I use on my recordings for my vocals. Like I just go really low and really aggressive.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm not detuning it or anything, but like I remember on TikTok apparently, or two, people were just like, man, you're editing your voice. Or it was like half people were like, this dude's voice is not that low, and half, wow, I would listen to you read a book and stuff, like I'm cool with either. I'm just like, I'll read a book to you. I don't care.
oh,
That'd
dude,
be awesome.
that sounds awesome.
I don't know if I could get through the whole thing in one sitting because I might kind of get distracted.
Maybe a Dr. Seuss book.
That would be dope.
That would be
I would
awesome.
do that.
You should try it.
I'll do it. Oh, dude, that's a great idea. I need to write that down.
Maybe
My
like
phone's
Green Eggs and a
charging.
Ham or something.
Exactly. I'd read it for a video. Just read.
When other artists, like you've collabed with other singers, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, do they sing your lyrics, or do they sing their lyrics? How does that work when it comes to writing your own songs and having somebody else sing it?
Well,
Or what?
I will say that I like to let anybody I work with like get creative. I want everybody I work with's creativity to flow. I want them to feel comfortable with it. I am not here to dominate them and to tell them how to do things. If I work with somebody, it's because I like their style and their artistic, flair. So when it comes to like people that I've collaborated with multiple times, Emotiona, I Exist, Motiona, Brian Lennington, Kate Sounder, these people like I know what they're going to bring to the table is amazing. Now, a lot of times I'll send I sent the Anyone But Me was the ending song on my last EP, and I sent Kate the music, and I sent her a little blurb of like, this is the emotion I felt writing this. Here's some a few lines that I came up with that I really liked and they resonated with me, and I feel like they tell the story of the song. So you take it from there. And she just fucking knocked it out of the park. I could have never wrote any lyrics as good as the ones she wrote.
Wow.
Some people if they want input, I'll always give somebody input if they ask, but I like to let them take the reins. And I'll write the music for the most part. Not always, but Devil's at Your Door with Tiny Cat, Tori Letzler. She wrote half the music. I wrote half the music. I didn't give her any input and direction from that because I knew that she was, had that, locked down already.
Yeah.
But there are some times where I'll definitely give a story and, a mood and, sometimes write a few lyrics that like they can either use or just use it as a springboard.
Yeah.
So it all depends. But I like to let people do their thing.
That's beautiful, man. That is amazing. Who is your most influence besides Rammstein today?
Man, I really like Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah.
I really like Korn, Slipknot, a whole lot. Love them. Musically, I really like what Heritage is doing. I know I'm supposed to say that because we're going back to back on this tour, but I really love what he's doing. I think he's awesome.
I have yet to hear him live.
Oh, he's insane. He's crazy. His music is amazing.
Yeah, okay.
It's so cool. I really I love trailer music. I love really insane orchestral stuff. There's this artist that I absolutely love to death. I don't know how to pronounce the first name. It's Ursine Volpine, or Ursine. I'm not sure which one it is. But he's just his real name's Frederick Lloyd, I think. But
okay.
He's his stuff just cuts right to the fucking soul every time. And it's just like, oh my God, it's so epic. It inspired a lot of the last EP sound. But I just like really heavy stuff. It either has to be heavy sonically or it has to be really heavy emotionally. And both those things I just love.
I feel like I feel like that's the one thing I connect with your music and every other music is the emotion behind it and how they can make pretty much a song, I would say, cry in a way. You can feel like the song or the music crying or screaming or being happy or being alive.
Yeah.
With your music, I just feel like I would run right through a wall and have the greatest day ever.
Yeah, just busting through a wall.
Right, like Kool-Aid, man.
Yeah.
So that's exactly how I feel, and what you're doing is amazing. It's unbelievable. You're changing the world. So with that being said, do you have a shout out for anybody or any last words?
If you listen to my music or fuck with me in any way, shape, or form, I just can't even thank you enough. Just literally anything. Even if it's just a comment or you stream my music, even if you streamed it and didn't like it and just turned it off, like, thanks for giving it a shot. It really means a lot. And my music's really weird. And so the fact that you would take the time out of your day to give it a shot or to even come watch some of a set or even, buy a ticket for a show I was headlining, which is crazy, what the fuck? That's amazing. That really means so much to me. So thank you. And that's my shout out to you, the watcher of this video.
Swarm, ladies and gentlemen, Scull Media, it's been a great day or a great night. Peace out.
Thank you for having me.